He had some spicy commentary I want to get to you guys at 7 o'clock today. Nick Wilson was upset about it. I want to play it before I comment on either one of them because I'm like, I don't think they got it necessarily right in the commentary yesterday about whether or not people wouldn't want this job or would want this job here in Cleveland if Kevin Stefanski were to go. About last night at 7:45, got some other names for the Michigan job and all the other. And there's one name that I hope it gets brought up about last night because there's one name. It's like, hey, you gotta make the call just to say you made the call just in case. But no, it's to me it's kind of lazy to have that opinion. And if you have that opinion, I'm gonna know you put zero thought into it. And that's probably coming up at about last night at 7:45. 216-474-0092. I had an interesting talk at the gas station this morning. I had to stop off. Now I don't need gas, but I stopped off because, long story short, the ice got on the windshield wipers, and I got halfway down the highway and went, damn it, I got to get off. So I went over to the gas station, and there's a guy who works at the gas station. His name is Sean. Sean is a listener. Sean has been a listener since the night show, and I've known Sean here for the last couple of years. He's a really nice guy, big Browns fan. And I walk in there because I'm like, well, I'm in here. I might as well get coffee. I didn't get any donuts or any pastry, so don't even start. I was like, I might as well get some coffee. And he goes, Ken, why is Stefanski still here? And I looked at my phone and I went, it is 4:27 in the morning, and that guy ain't even awake, and people are asking him why he still has a job. I go, damn. And I thought about it. I go, well, it's not the end of the year. He goes, that ain't good enough. And I went, you know what? You're right. And I said, I think I got a reason. Did Shedeur play well on Sunday? You guys are going to like this reason. Did Shedeur play well on Sunday, yes or no? Yes, he did. Ian, you've said many times, Kenny, you're focused on winning, and I've given my reasons why I'm focused on winning, and it's not just ego or pride or anything like that. I do think there's a legitimate reason for the people who want Shedeur to be quarterback next year. I think there's a legitimate reason, too. However, you've said it's more about evaluation than winning. Kevin, last year, he evaluated in the month of December. Were they trying to win? You think that they were trying to win? He wasn't going out of his way to lose. Were they trying to win? I don't think a lot of people thought they were. If Shedeur's playing well, would it stand to reason that Kevin might get a little bit of credit? Now, hold on here. I'm not trying to turn it around. I know you guys think that I'm just best buds with Kevin and I want to fire him and carry him out of this place. Hold on. If he's doing well with Shedeur, and I know we're mad over 2-point conversions and special teams and lack of accountability, all that's true. 100% true. But would you really want to rock the boat with 4 games left? You're trying to evaluate your quarterback to see whether or not he's a guy for 2026 or you're going to go in a drastically different direction. Don't you think you want to, if things look like they're getting better and they're working with him, I don't want to pull the rug out from underneath him. I know nobody wants Kevin here, it seems, and there's 90+% of you that seem you want him out. I think that I'm starting to believe that he doesn't even want to be here. But if I got 4 games left, and my quarterback's looking good, my rookie, the guy who has a high ceiling, the guy that a lot of people love. And the people who don't love him, if he keeps playing well, you'll learn to love him. Why would I want to pull the rug out from him now? If I did it in January, I got a whole offseason. I got a whole offseason to get a new coach in here, see where it goes. How do you plan on working with Shedeur? I got a lot of time to work ahead for a season. Here, I'm week by week. I'm going to let the guy go, and then over the next 3 games, like if they lose on Sunday to Chicago, and they very well could and probably will in so many ways, if they lose to Chicago, but he still plays well, I'm going to fire the head coach? What am I going to do? I'm going to put Tommy Rees in there? Okay, I can make Tommy Rees the head coach, and we can have that discussion now, but I don't want anything to really upset this while I'm seeing what he can do. It's already hard enough. He's already been uncomfortable enough with everything that went on in training camp. Even if it's not the best of environments for winning, I'd like to provide him with a stable environment through the rest of the year.
Well, especially as you're seeing improvement, right?
Yes. So if you were out there throwing the ball backwards or something like that, like maybe it's like, okay, who cares? But I'm seeing improvement.
And not to mention, none of us are there every day, and even the beat reporters are so limited what they're able to either film or look at. But you know who is there every day? Jimmy Haslam. Jimmy Haslam's there a lot.
He is there.
A lot of people think they don't realize
not
that
an absentee.
He lives here. He goes to practice. He's in that building.
He's there.
And I get it. When they're losing games, people think that's part of the problem. But he's observing all of this, right? And he's seen the communication and the relationship between Kevin Stefanski and Shedeur Sanders. And is there a chance? Because again, I don't know. And there really hasn't been that much reporting on this anyway, even from the insiders. But is there any kind of a relationship being established between those two? I know what people outside of the building were saying, which is, Stefanski's sabotaging him. He's doing everything he can. He was saddled with him. He was buried on the depth chart and was doing everything he could not to allow Shedeur Sanders to rise. All right, well, none of that matters now. He's there. They're working together. He's coaching him, and Tommy's coaching him. So is there any chance, and I do have to ask this question even to the people that hate Stefanski the most and said the most vile things about him, is there a chance he's actually been beneficial now since he's gotten the first team reps? Or do you guys still think he's actively doing things to harm Shedeur Sanders?
Depends on who you want to pay attention to.
Because I'm not seeing it on the field. I'm not seeing any evidence of that.
It just depends. I think people have chosen, and maybe I'm wrong, I'm asking people to be open-minded. 216-474-0092. Can you give him any credit whatsoever for Shedeur playing well on Sunday against Tennessee? If he continues to play well, can you give him any credit whatsoever? I think that a lot of people either A, they believe what they believe and they've believed it since before the season started, or B, they feel if they give him any sort of credit whatsoever that this is all going to be run back in 2026. I think fans are afraid of that. I mean, you had Stephen A. Smith yelling that we need to be holding his feet to the fire every single day of every single show. And I respect Stephen A. Smith, but I also know that I'm not going to sit here and lie to people if I don't believe it's true. Like, we could get to the end of the year, and I'm looking at this, because I'm looking at it right now going, this ain't good for anybody. This ain't good for the fans. I think I think it's only been good for one person, maybe, and that's Shedeur. Everybody else, I don't think it's good for. I don't think it's good for the assistants. I don't think it's good for the culture inside the office. I don't know how bad it is for the locker room. I don't think it's good for the culture inside the office. I don't think it's good for Andrew Berry. I don't think it's good for Kevin. I don't think it's good for Kevin and his future. I don't think it's good for the ownership. I don't think it's good for the fans. I don't think it's good for anybody right now. This is not good. And I got all these different people over the last 2 weeks. Well, the Giants might be interested. I'm going, who's putting this out? Maybe Kevin doesn't want to be here. Maybe Kevin doesn't want to be here. And there's guys driving on 77 right now going, yeah, Kev, make my day. Okay, fine. But let's get to January before that, because I still got 4 more games. My quarterback has made strides every single week. I'm excited to see what's next. If he ends up being good, fine. And I guess we'll have to have that conversation on whether to hold on to Kevin or let Kevin go.
Why would Kevin want to be anywhere else if Shedeur is showing real signs of growth and coachability?
He may think Cam Ward's better. He may think Jackson Dart's better. That's on him. If there's a separation here, then we have to make a separation, and I'm fine with that. I'll live with it. It's been 6 years, and it seems that he may not really even want to be here anymore by all these different sources that are coming out and saying these things. So if that's the way it is, then I want to see it here, and I want to see it over the next 3 games after this week coming up against Chicago. Because he can't just go out there and do it all by himself. He's gotten better. And you can give credit to Tommy Rees as well. You can give credit to the rest of the offensive staff. There's a lot of things that you can do to say, yeah, like this, he's clearly been helped. Clearly. There's a lot of things that I think that he's naturally good at, and I think they're coming to the surface now. Him being able to pick up the offense, him being able to pick up the footwork, the things that he did, the platform being so much better. We talked about this throughout the week. And I'm thinking, yeah, I can give Kevin Stefanski credit and still say this ain't working, and there probably should be a separation between you two at the end of the year. But I think that a lot of fans feel if they say anything in terms of credit for him, then that's going to leave the door open for 2026. And I think the vast majority of fans want change. 216-474-0092. Can you give him any credit whatsoever? Or do you think he doesn't deserve any? You can always try to. I'm open-minded to that. I'm just asking people to be open-minded on this. If you don't think he deserves any credit, tell me why. Tell Tone why. I have a quarterback coach who did just text me during the last segment. And he's like, totally agree with everything. You're absolutely right.
Which is?
The Stefanski and not firing because of the Shedeur Sanders evaluation. It's like, you want to make a move at the end of the year? I'm saying, if you want to make a move at the end of the year, fine. And there's a lot of things. Guys, I get upset too. I mean, I'm down in my office. I'm crushing Busch Light. I'm seeing this emotionally. I'm getting upset. It's an upsetting time. I got my son sitting next to me here. I kind of I kind of look like Ken Dorsey sitting in the booth. He's sitting next to me. He's just staring at me as I'm throwing things because I'm mad. He's taking notes. I'm taking notes. Typically what fathers and sons would do.
What's he drinking?
He is not drinking Busch Light. He is fixing the drinks. And as things go worse, I told you, the hammer comes out because then he starts to fix the drinks. Because that's Axel's nickname in the family is the hammer.
He's the hammer.
Because
a disciple of the old hammer.
He is not going to. My son is not going to short pour you. He's either going to be a football coach or a legendary bartender in this city. One of the two. He ain't going to short pour nothing, boy. It's going to happen. You are going to leave with a buzz. Anywho, I'm losing my mind too. It's very frustrating. The 2-point conversion crap. The special teams gaffes, the lack of accountability, the pre-snap penalties, the things that you've talked about, you are 100% right. The guys calling in, the women calling in, you all are 100% right. It's been a terrible season. I don't think he's and personally, in my own opinion, I don't think he's very much interested in being here after this year. It's been 2 weeks of leaks here, guys. He's either getting ready to be fired or he might just want to go. And we'll get that figured out at the end of the year. But I'm seeing a quarterback. He's supposed to be an offensive guy. He's worked well with quarterbacks. That was part of the argument we've made here and there over the past 5 years now before this year, where things have been rocky up and down, and whether or not it was his fault or Deshaun's or Baker's or his or whatever. He's supposed to work well with quarterbacks. And I'm seeing QB that was the rest of the NFL try to tell you that guy wasn't that good. And I'm seeing a quarterback inspire confidence in even some haters. Like, you have a show on this station. One of these guys on this show, not this show, one of the guys on that show was staunchly against Shedeur Sanders. Now he's a big fan. He's as big a fan of Jonathan Peterlin, it seems. What's that do? But the same, we're talking about he needs to be fired right now. Whoa. I don't want to mess with that right now. I don't want to mess with it.
Well, now it kind of seems like
I'll wait till the end of the year.
So this is.
I know that saying that I'll probably come in here Monday real pissed and hungover. I know I'll probably come in Monday feeling that way, but hold me to accountable to what I'm saying right now, because I'm seeing a quarterback grow day by day by day, week by week, and it's a lot of fun to watch.
And regardless of, like, if you're doing the credit, we always do the blame pie. If you're doing the credit pie, if you think it's Shedeur 99%, Stefanski 1%. Either way, like, he's not actively undermining him now, right? If you thought he was actively undermining him all season, and we've gotten in debates about that to death, and that's been a national storyline. But clearly, some of the, if you go back and look at the preseason stuff, and some people have done that, they've gone back and looked at some of the tape for the preseason where it was the mistakes were straight out of college. They were the exact same mistakes, and why wouldn't it be? How much development really is there in the offseason?
Didn't get a lot of time.
Right? And now you're getting NFL coaching. Well, now already compare his tape from last week to his tape in, against the Rams in the preseason. And by the way, the offensive lines weren't that different because his offensive line was terrible back then. His offensive line was terrible last week. And you're seeing really encouraging signs. So, I give the guy who's the quarterback and throwing the passes and having that the command and presence in the huddle and the pocket, I give him the most credit, but I got to give the coach some credit. I don't have to be stubborn. As much as I'm down on Stefanski right now, I don't have to be that stubborn.
Let's see what Odyssey NFL insider and broadcaster and former NFLer Ross Tucker has to say about such matters.
In the same light that he's going to get all of the blame for all the bad things, let's give him all the credit for the positive things. But I think he certainly deserves a decent amount of the credit for Shedeur's improvement, which, by the way, I feel like you guys have a fascinating situation going, because on the one hand, it's like the Browns should not have lost to the Jets or the Titans. And if they let go of Kevin, those would be major reasons why. On the other hand, they lose to a really bad team at home on Sunday, but you have your quarterback play his best game. And so if Shedeur continues to play really well this last month, I don't know, do you want to move on from the coaching staff that's getting him to play really well?
If he's playing really well, I think we can reevaluate this, and I can reevaluate this in January. So I know that a lot of people, and again, I know what I said on Monday, and I was real mad on Monday. I was real mad the Monday before. And on Sunday nights, I start looking at my mentions, and again, I've had a couple, and I see already, you guys are gassing me up and sending me emails and getting me going because you want me to start ripping them like crazy, and you want me to go nuts on them because you guys don't got microphones in front of you, and I take that responsibility seriously. You wouldn't believe I do, but I do. And I also want to do not just what's right for the fans and what the fans tell me they want to hear, but I also want to do what's right for this team to have a good product so the fans actually have something to enjoy. And this is not enjoyable, the ending result. The quarterback play is enjoyable. Quarterback play was fun on Sunday. The end result was terrible. And if we get to the 4 games, none of what I'm saying right now has any indication of what I mean in January when it comes to this entire body of work for this team. Because there's plenty of guys who are good quarterback coaches who are not great head coaches. There's plenty of guys who have helped out that maybe we're just at the end of the run and that's it. And again, I keep trying to stress I don't believe he even wants to be here for a very long time. We'll have Jason in tomorrow, and I call him the Culligan man, so I'm going to have to go right at him about that and see whether or not I'm wrong. Maybe I am. Hope I am in so many ways. But I don't want to make a move when my quarterback's working. My quarterback's working. Can we do 4 more weeks? If the quarterback's looking good, can I get 4 more weeks? If they go and they win 4 more games, then we're going to have a different discussion. But I can't wait 4 more games? 3 weeks and a couple of days? I can't wait that long? If we're going to make a move here, Tone, I think we can.
Yeah, and I get it. If you're a Shedeur person who's been peddling a lot of the stuff that's been out there, that they've been sabotaging him and setting it up to fail and all that stuff, then you're not going to want to live in a world like this at all. Like you want Stefanski gone. Forget about the actual football reasons and the 4th down and taking Shedeur off the field. But everything else, like I get it. You're rolling your eyes, you're driving around today, or you're listening in Texas or across the country to us, and you're watching us on YouTube, and you are going nuts. You are giving this guy credit now for Shedeur.
This is not a fun thing to say, guys.
No players, when their career is over, none of them say I did it on my own. Like, none of them do. They give credit to people along the way. Well, who is Shedeur going to give credit to along the way? Is there a chance, and I know it's tough to say this without smiling, is there a chance when Shedeur is putting on the gold jacket in Canton 20 years from now that he says, Kevin Stefanski, everything he did and the coaching that I got when it was so instrumental my rookie year, because I couldn't maybe see it then, when I thought I could play along with all these quarterbacks in the NFL, and I made that statement and I was mocked. I didn't see it then, but now as I'm older, all these years later, and we're having a Hall of Fame party in Canton, Ohio, and we have these Super Bowl rings here in Cleveland to talk about and to look back on. Yeah, Kevin Stefanski deserves some credit.